Hi everyone, I am Ketra. We are going to do a collective reading together today. Um, so this collective reading is because as I was getting ready to do my recording, I'm constantly hearing in my head this song that's called Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. It is by an artist named Johnny Lee, and it's not the typical like music I listen to. I listen to music based on my mood, but I was just in there doing my makeup. It is a time when I really do communicate with God and with the divine and just slow my thoughts down and think. And I just kept hearing this song. And I realized one of the most common things that are asked of tarot readers is about love. When will I find love? Am I going to be alone? When will I be in a relationship? A lot of questions like that. And I think the song means to me today for you guys is looking for love in all the wrong places, meaning you're looking for love externally. And where you really need to start is with self. You need to look for love within yourself. Okay, so then I was like, well, then if I was going to do a reading for somebody, I would ask additional questions. And so the question would be, where do you need to focus to be able to work on loving yourself? Because once you love yourself, then abundantly everything comes to you with ease. It just seems so simple. And I'm living proof of that. So, we're going to start with, so all of the oracle cards that I chose today have to do with love, self-love, or working on yourself. So we're going to start with the Lover's Oracle. They're very hard to shuffle because they're in a shape of a heart. So I went ahead and I shuffled ahead of time. So we're going to start with this card. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You'll be surprised where it leads you. And I think it's interesting, the picture, because it kind of reminds me of the chakras. So it's like once you put yourself back in balance, that's when everything abundantly flows to you. So whether it's love or jobs or things like that, but I specifically think this is in reference to those that are out there that are asking about love. Your next Lover's Oracle is Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. So sometimes all of those questions that you have about like when am I going to be in love? When am I going to find my person or my soulmate? When you constantly have those questions as if they're unanswered, then that doesn't create the room that you need for those things to come in. So the last Lover's Oracle card that we're going to look at is, if you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. So I think those are pretty important messages in reference to what I'm trying to get across for you guys today. So I think next we're going to ask Gaia Oracle. And the reason I chose this for two reasons. One, I haven't used it in a really long time. Two, it has a heart on that cover of the guidebook, and it just kind of like spoke out to me from the array of oracle decks that I have. And three, yesterday I was in my friend's store. She has a metaphysical store. Her name is Jane. It's Dragon Star Books. It's freaking fantastic. It's in Mesa here in Arizona, and she had this book on her counter, and I'm like, oh, I have that book. It was gifted, or I have these cards. It was gifted to me by my daughter, Ashley. And so I was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and get messages from Gaia today. So let's take a look at what messages we have for your heart from Gaia. Purification fire, bare essentials, the naked truth, wholeness. Absolutely. So I think I'm going to put my finger on this one just in case YouTube doesn't like it. But they're beautifully illustrated pictures. But what's more beautiful is the fact of the message. It's wholeness. It's once you are whole, you can then begin to share yourself with somebody else. You know, you can't. It's more difficult. You can keep trying to share yourself and be in relationships with others when you haven't like really worked on yourself. But then if you think about it, you have all these little broken pieces of your soul, like fragments of your soul, and you're trying to keep it together. But then you're trying to get into a relationship with somebody else, but you're not whole. So it's just going to it's like building a house on a foundation that isn't sturdy. It's like building a foundation on sand. It's just going to come apart. And maybe that's the cycle that you've been in, where it comes apart over and over again. And it may be time to go down to the bare essentials, the naked truth, and to wholeness. We are also going to use another deck that was gifted to me by my daughter, Ashley. Thank you. These are healing cards. These are healing cards. And they have little messages. So I'm going to ask specifically for a message that will help them while they're on their path to healing their selves, healing their heart, so that they could become whole. And they have messages on both sides. Okay. Okay. The world lives and breathes, and we can draw its spirit into us. And on the back, it says, think rolling waves, warm sun, wet grass, fresh earth, crowded elevator, busy streets, birds singing. Get into all the sensations of life today. You don't need a lengthy meditation to connect to nature. Just draw it in. And so again, I think that is simply connecting to yourself, because we're all connected to earth, to God, to the universe, to the divine, whatever you resonate with. So it's really, if you want love and you want to be able to be in a relationship, if you feel like that's part of your soul's path, is to be in a relationship, because we don't have to be in relationships. We can be completely content with ourselves if we love ourselves. If we don't love ourselves, being alone can be very difficult and very hard. So I think the last oracle message that I want to get is from your inner child. Or do I want to end with I want to end with this one. So I hope I remember. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the Mermaid Tarot. And I chose the Mermaid Tarot because it is about emotions and water and having things flow. So my question, if you were sitting with me, would be, okay, so they have questions about love, about being in a relationship. And what we are really focusing on is where do we look for love within ourselves? Where do we need to start rebuilding the love that we have with ourselves? That is what I would then ask the divine if you were with me. So the first card is going to be you. 10 of Pentacles. That is what you want. You want that 10 of Pentacles. You want that time with friends and family, and it's strong relationships. It's the accumulation of you being diligent on the work you're putting in for yourself. And the outcome is the 10 of Pentacles. The outcome is the abundance of love and happiness. This is what you want. So what is your crossing energy? 7 of Pentacles. So you see in the picture, the 7 of Pentacles, it's a man and a woman. And what I'm getting for the card is your crossing energy is just, you're like looking and you're waiting for it. So the 7 of Pentacles is, I get it. Okay, so the 7 of Pentacles is you looking at your past situations, looking at the relationships that you've had, and just wondering why it isn't working. And so like in this picture, the two obviously are expecting, and yet it seems like nothing's happening in the picture. They're just kind of like still in a moment where they've tried and tried and tried and nothing's happened. But now they're expecting. So your crossing energy is, if you put the work into yourself, you will bear the fruits of your labor, if that makes sense. So let's take a look in your past a little bit, and let's see what has kept you from really being in love with yourself. Because first and foremost, that's the relationship that's the best, the relationship with yourself. Because if you love yourself, when it's time to be in a relationship, it's not so much that you need love. It's okay for this person that I'm considering, and building a friendship is the best way to do that, build those bonds, those friendships. But it's more like, okay, I don't need anyone to give me something. I want to know what it is that and in what way my life would be better by having this person romantically involved with me. So what in the past has kept you or caused you, I just heard stumbles. So the 10 of Cups. So in your past, you have been just searching for that 10 of Cups moment. You've been looking for it, and you've been looking for it, and you've been looking for it. And in the card, I feel like it's come and it's gone. It's come and it's gone. And it just hasn't really created that stability for you in your life that you've been looking for. So that's the past energy that you need to move away from. Thinking that it's going to be one thing and yet it keeps on coming up to another. Like we have this idea of what love should look like in our life, and we keep striving for just that. But what we come to realize as we get older, we realize that the relationship does need to start with self. So what guidance do we have from our future selves? Three of Cups. So the guidance from above with the Three of Cups, and it's really neat that your past and your present are cups, because that's your emotions, and that's what we're talking about right now, right? And so the Three of Cups is a time, I feel like my nose is going to start bleeding. That would be bad. Maybe it won't. Okay, I get nosebleeds this time of year. Okay, so the Three of Cups is you coming together with others. So it's working on yourself, and it's working with the relationships that are around you. So your future self is asking you to work on the relationships that are around you. Because when you start building that love and that trust simply with just those that are around you, that's when you start to really feel the love that you have for yourself. And then the love you can slowly start giving to others, or recognizing the love that you already give to others and how important it is that you love others as well as yourself, you know? So then card number 5 is going to be, are we good? Okay. Card number 5 is advice from above. So you have the Page of Wands. So on this journey to heal your heart, you just need to kind of go at it with a very young kind of attitude, not the attitude that you carry with you as an adult that has been through a lot of relationships that hasn't worked out the way that you thought. But if you think about it, every single relationship that you have has helped you on your soul's path. There were things to learn about every single situation. But now I show you learning what it is that you want from yourself, because once you decide what it is that you want and how you want to treat yourself, how you can be better to yourself, that is going to equal, it's going to match the energy that you're looking for, if that makes sense. Okay, so the last one is going to be like outcome. So say you work on yourself and you work very hard on yourself. You move past what you thought love and a happy life would look like, and you realize what love and a good life looks like. What is your outcome? What is their outcome? Once they realize what their life could look like once they love themselves. Okay, so, wow. So 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, and the Empress. So the 4 of Pentacles, she is, if you think about it in the card, just simply, she is balancing her emotions. She is in chaotic waters. You have been through chaotic emotional trauma, right? But she is balancing herself. So the advice from above is to balance your emotions, to be stable in your emotions. And then it's time to put in the work. So the 3 of Pentacles is, again, I have a strong feeling it goes with this card here, the 3 of Cups. It's you working on your relationships that you have, 1 with yourself and 2 with others, not seeking that like love from like a partner, right? And then the Empress, she is here to tell you again, to work on yourself, to love yourself above all, because once she has figured out how to love herself, because the Empress is all four queens, all combined together in perfect harmony. So once you're able to balance yourself in your emotions, it will create this perfect harmony energy for yourself. And that's when you'll know, you'll feel it. Like, I do love myself. I am in love with myself. I love being with myself. And anybody else that comes into your life is just going to add to it. You don't need it. They're just going to add to your life. They're just going to make you happy every day. And if they don't, then that is the universe again showing you another lesson of, okay, you've gone through this before. Are you going to go through it again? Are you going to be abundantly loving and kind to yourself? So that is fantastic advice. So now we're going to get advice from your inner child. So if your inner child, if you could take time to hear what your inner child wants to tell you. So I want a message for them from what their inner child wants to tell them. And this is probably the first love reading that I've done on YouTube. But I just had to. And it's, you know, what's interesting is the song has gone away in my head. So this is what I was meant to do. It's so funny. Breathe in. Practice breath work today. Breath work is what connects you to the divine, because we do it without thinking. So breath work is one of the inner child messages for you. Review your responsibilities. Not all responsibilities are ours to hold. And your last message from your inner child is be still. Cultivate a space of stillness and silence to just be. And I got goosebumps because just be still, just be kind, just be abundantly loving to yourself, and everything will fall into place. So before I forget, thank you all so much for watching, subscribing to my channel, liking it. It helps my very new channel so much. If you would like a one-on-one reading with me, feel free to click the link below and or leave a comment, send an email, and we can go from there. So until the next video, enjoy the journey and love yourself, and take care. Have a great rest of your day.